crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, look to find your way, man. Your way, man. Yeah, take a look around you, look to find your way, man. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of means to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your house like it's topical. Now the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real again, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines when you find out. And getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hot behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast.
He's heating up.
Blowing up, but we still trapping, sitting high up on the stone. With my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapping, sitting high up on the stone. With my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, blowing up, but we still trapped. That's how a nigga survives. Flowing out, got the crowd packed. Yeah, that's how a nigga provides. Y'all insta this, y'all snap that, y'all diss this, and they snap back. Another mass shooting in the headlines. I'm like, damn, where that attack at? Cause y'all think this about race. They font that shit in your face. It's like every day it's the same agenda. It's really not that hard to trace. Fuck it, we might as well face it. Accept it, whatever it's wrapped in. There'll come a day when they run out of grace. So me and my niggas stay trapping. Yeah, ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapping, sitting high up on the stone. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Hey, somewhere between who I wanted to be and then what I became. Ended up going my own way, but I couldn't stay in my lane. Now if I'm honest, I've taken a liking to wearing these chains. They hold me down, make it easier when I start feeling the pain. Out of the overflow, your heart, they say your mouth speaks. Well, my heart must be fucked up, cause I can't speak and I can't sleep. So I stay woke in this daydream. Got shit to do, got the world to see. Got the same crew, got some new fleets. This an empire, fuck a boutique, that's real. I only say what I feel, got a new plate with the same meal. On a new hype with the same chill. Y'all too fake, I stay real. Got cast down from heaven, but I'm too good to stay in hell. I don't know where the story ends, but I keep writing like, oh well, oh well. Yeah, I keep writing like, oh well, oh well. Yeah. Hey, I don't know where the story ends, but I keep writing like, oh well, oh well. Yeah. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah.
We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
Yeah, if I see it, I cop it. Running through stores, if I see it, I rock it. Yeah, girl, if you see it, I got it. Run it up more, we need all the profit. 100 racks back up in summer 16. Spent that whole bag on a whole summer dream. Life's complicated, no Avril Lavigne. Copped a new condo to blow off some steam. All these rappers just rapping in triplets. Pushing that product, just got a new shipment. Pushing that roll 50 over the limit. Cushion that blow, I don't get why they with it. We at the top and we throwing the game. All of these peasants will know of my name. All of these blessings, we staying the same. The drip is fluorescent, I'm going insane. Royal genetics all up in my veins. Back me a real one and gave her my name. All of these issues, but no one to blame. Praying that God will just show me the way. Changing the game, got the source code, and I'm off-road and my horses go skirt. One in the same day, of course, no, we in first, yo, all my niggas we were. Faking the fame, but we all know, cause the source told all you niggas just learn. Talking and saying y'all pseudo, and it's true though, y'all just popping them perks. Taking the stage, got a few shows, let the crew know it's a clouse in the dirt. I am the king and it's my throne, y'all are kind though, they keep calling me Xerxes.
We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
We only got one life, I'ma get that. If you with that, do not sit back and just wish that you had it. Despite all your witchcraft and your riffraff, this is my gift and you wish that you had it. Tonight gonna bump trap, gonna thump that. Drums in the back and you know that we have it. Girls like where the one at, need to run back. Flee from these niggas, you know that they savage. They acting macho like they Randy Savage. They call me Pablo, the kingpin is at it. I am Apollo, you Rocky, I've had it. Y'all can just follow cause niggas is slacking. I am Jack Sparrow, my verses is cracking. I am the ghost and you rappers is Pac-Man. Out in the coast and I'm getting more blacking. Y'all acting hairy, I'm grabbing the waxing.
Top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lobster and shrimp, if I see it, I cop it. I am that kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Hello, Mindy. I love that stuff. Been drinking it for years.
Okay. Your total is $96.59.
Go to the fucking gym.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3003 of the most muscular, of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, Beaches, Booshes? Bustus, Hustles, and your host. It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. And today's episode of the Bees Cast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you Beaches. You do 2,000 episodes, you do 1,000 episodes, it gets pretty ingrained. I'm surprised. I'm always extra thinking, I'm like, okay, the number is 3, and I see it 3. So at least I got the first 3 correct. It's okay. It's going to happen now and again. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's jump right into today's episode. Drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? We have a lot to get into. So without further ado, let's get into that tip. Make sure that you're leaving a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere you bang your ear holes. And of course, join the fam over at swolenormousx.com to get access to all of our programs, yoga, meditation, and so much more. Exclusive overtime segments like today, right after the stream. We have an overtime segment where we have a brand new driving while gaining. And of course, you'll get access to the private community, the Telegram chat, all the private things. And I can't even get too much into the details, but all the private community, that's going to be accessible via the app. The new Swolenormous app dropping soon. So stay tuned for that. Join the fam today. Don't miss out on that, because, man, do we have a lot of content. Do we have a lot of stuff that we're doing, especially when the app is live. Very excited about that. So today, overtime right after, we'll switch over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat at the end. That way, it's for members only. We can get into those driving while gainings and new balls deep edits, the ones that we feature in the overtime segment. And yeah, let's get into today's episode. Drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? And let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. Yeah, let's see a little Tainty Man. He's looking super cute today. Isn't that nice? Isn't that special? Look at the Tainty boy. All right, first post of the day.
What's in the box?
This one's from Aaron. And Aaron says, hello fam, my name is Aaron from Australia. I've been listening to Papa's podcast for about a year and love everything this community and Swolenormous X stands for, so I finally made the jump and signed up. My goal is to up the intensity of my training and do yoga every day, as that has been my weak point. Very happy to be here. Welcome. We have a bunch of people from Australia. I don't know if Annika is watching right now. This is probably a little bit too late for her. But usually when we have an evening cast or an early morning cast, she's here because, of course, Australia's, was it 12-hour difference or something around there? Anyway, welcome to the fam. Stoked to have you. As you might already have heard if you've been listening to the show, Aaron, we have our app dropping soon, so you're really going to love that. And if you want to up the intensity, I think the Swole fam would agree, you should be looking into Maximum Swole. What a great program. And again, once the app drops, we have a lot of, I don't want to give away the new content, the new stuff that we're going to be doing on a regular basis, but it's legit. So check out Maximum Swole and enjoy. Welcome to the fam. Let us know if you have any questions. Make sure you join the Telegram chat and all that stuff. This is a great post. We have another one from the Swole fam. This is a great post, and I'm really glad it's in the folder for today because I saw this. I I saw this yesterday in the Facebook group, and I wanted to make sure that we had it for today's show. Check this out from Carlson. Great post. Carlson says, "What is your profession?" This morning, I was in one of my dad groups on Facebook. There was a guy on there going through a divorce, struggling to figure out who he was. A whole lot of guys were talking to him to go to the gym based. And it got me thinking, there are a whole lot of divorced dads who were soft, and then they go into gorilla mode to get themselves back on the market and finally discover who they are. There's nothing wrong with this, but the mindset inevitably leads to failure. They go on a crazy cut, do hours of cardio, lift weights, get shredded. They go on a crazy cut and do hours of cardio, lift weights, get shredded. Then they find a woman, stop going to the gym, start drinking, and restart the pathetic part of their life again. Well, I've never been divorced, and the only thing separating me from my wife is death. So what's the big difference in me? I then thought of the movie 300. King Leonidas, king of the Spartans, meets soldiers from a neighboring nation who want to stand with him against Persia. These men have been called to war from their profession. They give a chant indicating that war is their profession. What a great scene. Spartans, what is your profession? And they just go, ho, ho. We have that actually in the intro of the show. Many get awoken and called to war so they can return to their old life after. The few, though, when they get called to war, they are at home. They are soldiers. They are warriors. War is their profession. Which one are you? I like it. I love it. Fuck yeah! That's a great point. I agree. This goes both ways, and we've talked about this before. I want to get into it for a couple more moments. This happens with women, too. Have you seen that? It's been a trend online, and it's also been a trend on TikTok where it shows, my so-and-so left me, but now I'm going to make him miss me, right? I'm going to make him regret that he broke up with me. And then the fat chick or the girl that let it all go loses all this weight, looks amazing. And it pisses me off. It's why wouldn't you take care of yourself while you're with the person? No wonder the person left you. You were not taking care of yourself. You didn't look good. You didn't exercise. You didn't take care of yourself. And then you break up, or he dumps you, or, things just kind of fall apart. And then you're going to get in the best shape of your life to make him jealous or something. Why didn't you take care of yourself when you were with him? So it goes both ways. I've seen this with both, and it makes total sense. And I always say this, it shouldn't be this cliche, I get married and then I let it all go to shit. You've heard this so many times. You get married or whatever it is, and then you're not on the market. You're not looking for people anymore. And of course, this is something that happens when you have kids. Men, I think testosterone drops about 30%. And it makes sense because it kind of encourages this bond with the female. So you're not as aggressive. You're more of a father, husband, family. It keeps the man around a little bit more rather than just like running around, fucking everything it sees. Men still do that, but you get the point. Like these are certain evolutionary characteristics that bond men to women, especially after childbirth. So why don't you take care of yourself? If you're going to be with someone, you say, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. We're going to be in this together. Why would you let yourself go to shit? It's disrespectful for the other person, to the other person. And I'm not saying if your husband or wife is in good condition, they don't love you, but they don't really love themselves. They're not thinking about it properly. And this is why when you have children, you have a responsibility for your children. You have a responsibility to those people around you. So if you have a responsibility to take care of people around you, for your wife, your husband, your kids, you're not working out just for you anymore. Yes, I know gym is therapy, this, that, and the other, but you're working out for them. If you have a family, you need to be training so you can be healthy and strong, lead by example, but also so you can be around longer and protect them. You're not training for you, so stop thinking about it as, I don't have time, I have kids, I have a job. Yeah, we all do. Everyone's a little bit different, depends on what kind of work you put in and what you built and what risk you took. So people are going to look at me and, well, Papa, it's easy for you to say all you do is train. No, it's not all I do. But I also took massive risk to make sure that this is something that I could do. I didn't just stumble and fall on 3,003 episodes. Okay, so it's not like I didn't take risk. So if you take outsized risk, you can get outsized rewards, but it's really just matching, or it's comparable to the risk that you took. Just because you take a risk doesn't mean you're going to be successful. But if you don't take risk, you're not going to make any progress. And this happens with training, this happens with business, this happens with relationships, all this stuff. So you're always taking a risk. There's always a risk, but there's a reward. And sometimes the risk is outsized for the reward and it's not worth it. Other times there's a big risk, but you don't have much to lose. If you're not in a position where, if like for me, I was single, I was still doing some personal training. I didn't really have anything to lose when I started. So I needed to do this. I needed to start. So you have to start. And I mean, of course, I had my own business and personal training and stuff. And I did many things throughout the years. It wasn't like I was just sitting around, hey, I'm just going to do this. No risk. But you have to invest in yourself. When you have other people that are dependent on you, this is why when you fill out your taxes, it's called a dependent. You have kids, that's a dependent. They depend on you for survival. So they depend on you to go to the gym. They depend on you to lift heavy fucking weights. They depend on you to get stronger. They depend on you to do things that you don't feel like doing. I know what you're going through. You have to get up. Your kids wake you up. You can't sleep in. I get it, but they depend on you. That's the responsibility you take. And it's a very valuable responsibility. And I know pretty much everyone that's a parent, yeah, it's not easy, but you don't regret it. You wouldn't trade your children for anything. It's worth it. So if you're a complete person, you're taking care of yourself, you can pour from a full cup. And that's what you need to do. You can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're draining yourself, yeah, you're going to feel completely like a wasteland. But going back to what Carlson said, what this guy said, there was a guy on there going through a divorce, struggling to figure out who he was. That's the saddest part of this post. That's really a sad post in the sense. You're going through a divorce, struggling to figure out who you are. That's not the fucking time, dude. This is what happens when people don't know who they are. They don't know what they're about. They get thrown into situations. They don't take care of themselves. They don't go through the shit and the muck and the mire first. That's a tragedy right there. You mean you're figuring yourself out? The fuck? I don't know who I am. How? This is why it's so important. That's why your 7 pillars will help you forge who you are, going through the difficulty, martial arts, lifting weights, challenging yourself, going through difficult situations. That's how you forge your manhood. It's just nonsense. It's nonsense. So we have these, Carlson's here. What do we have? These these sad dad support groups. I know it's great for fathers and men to be around, but this just sounds like people commiserating. I don't know who I am. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going through a divorce. It's like, fuck, man. This is not the time to be figuring shit out. That should have been done while you were married and before. I know every situation is different, but it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing how people make these choices, and it's something that could be so easily undone. There's really no bond there. There's no commitment. Why aren't you taking care of yourself while you're married and before? You have to think about it. I'm not saying there aren't different situations. Maybe they got a divorce because this woman, just went fucking insane. I get it. Maybe I understand. I understand that not every, I'm not making a blanket statement for every single situation, but it's just overwhelmingly this acceptance of the dad bod, right? That's body positivity for men. That's nonsense. We talk about this, and you see a lot of this kind of push for acceptance for women getting fat after marriage. Fuck that. Fuck that. You hate your husband. You hate him. You don't respect him if you let yourself go to shit. That's unacceptable. There's no reason for a woman to get fat after they get married. Oh, I had a kid. That's not an excuse. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. A lot of women will just blame anything. Well, I had a baby. A lot of people have babies and they come back just fine because they're actually taking care of themselves. Yes, there's other circumstances and situations, but they're more rare than the victim culture would like you to believe. So no one should be getting fat after marriage. You should be taking care of yourself. If that person has to look and fuck only one person for the rest of their life, my God, you better be putting in the work. Jesus Christ. If you actually truly love the other person, you take care of yourself. All right, let's get into a couple emails and then we'll get into a couple responses. I see some responses from this topic and, we'll get into it in a second. So let's get into a couple emails. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com if you want to get on the mailing list. The secret to actually getting results. Pat says, hey, Papa Swolio, This week, I adjusted my weekly workout schedule on my whiteboard. I adjusted some of the weights I feel I can push myself more with and separated workouts I feel might affect me the next day so I can rest those muscles properly and get my next session done without discomfort or an increased risk of injury as I'm getting up there at 46 years old. Come on now. Thanks for your advice on Instagram, and thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. All right. Good for you, Pat. Train hard, train smart, train intensely. Just focus on the recovery. I'm going to be 41 in like 2 weeks. So I'm going to be absolutely jacked at 46. So don't let that age be, a psychological barrier for you pushing yourself. Everyone's afraid of getting hurt when they go, I don't want to get hurt. I'm not going to go too hard. You have to get out of that fucking mindset. That's how you lose muscle, and that's how you get weaker, and that's how you speed up that train of decline. If you use that weak mindset, oh, my age, I'm slowing down. No, you still got to train intensely and hard. You just have to be smarter about your recovery and how you go about it. You're not going to necessarily maybe do barbell squats. That's not required to build muscle. There's so many people that are just, they have this religion around free weights and stuff. And I used to too. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do machines. That's for pussies. No, machines are great. They're safer. You can go harder. You can hit muscles in different ways. It's so much better. In so many ways, it's so much better. I'm not saying I don't do free weights, but for me, why am I going to do free weights when I can target the muscles better, go harder, push closer to failure in a better manner than with free weights? So there are applications for it. There are applications for both. So just make sure that you are making a better exercise selection, and then you can push harder. And it doesn't matter if you're 50 or you're 20 or whatever it is, you can go harder more safely and get better results. All right, Sarah says, I'm working on the mental game and mental consistency. Decades of work, training, grinding, and still have some mental roadblocks. It's weird that the more I get in my head about it, parentheses, not losing fat fast enough, not training as often as I want, blah, blah, blah. The more I get in my head about it, the more difficult it is for me to stay on track. I don't know if this is a common problem, but bodybuilding kind of fucked up my perception of how healthy training and lifestyle is supposed to look. Love the sport, but it's damaged little pieces of me in a strange way I never expected. Right now, I'm focusing on one day at a time, one workout at a time, one meal at a time, one decision at a time. If I go much farther than that, the shoulda, coulda, woulda starts to pop in the brain and make me feel like my progress is nothing. I don't know how else to really explain it. Always working on mastering the mind. And you will be forever. Bodybuilding is a mind fuck. And this is what I always say. Bodybuilding got mixed up with health. Okay? These people on stage and everyone admires that. Ooh, I want to look like that person. Well, if you want to look like that person on a bodybuilding stage, you're going to be very unhealthy. These people are not healthy, even when you're doing it naturally. Dieting down, getting shredded, lean, water depletion to get on stage. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. I'm not saying doing a natural bodybuilding competition, you'll die, but people go to the hospital all the time for dehydration issues and stuff like that. Of course, if you're doing IFBB or some of these other pro divisions, they're taking tons and tons of juice and this, that, and the other. So bodybuilding, I think from Muscle and Fitness and Flex Magazine or all these different news, magazine covers, at least in the late 90s and stuff like that, people had this impression that being muscular and shredded was healthy. And that's not true. That's not true. Everyone's going to hold a different amount of water and body fat, but bodybuilding gives you this weird association with being muscular and lean as healthy. It's not healthy. They're getting on stage to show proportion, to show definition, to show this, that, and the other from these compulsory poses. It has nothing to do with health. It has nothing to do with heart health. It has nothing to do with how your kidney's functioning. No one's judging your kidney function on stage. No one's judging your telomere length or your longevity or your sleep quality. They just want to see what you look like in that moment, and then you're going to get a ribbon. So, it's definitely going to give you the skewed perception. And this is another reason why social media, especially for females, is very detrimental. It happens with males too, but women are much more social than men. And it's very, very damaging to be shown all the things that you could be and all the things that maybe you aren't or never will be on social media. If you're into fitness and you follow fitness people online, what's the algorithm going to show you? It's going to show you a lot of people that are in good shape, a lot of people that are ripped, a lot of people that are muscular, a lot of people that are lifting 700 pounds, 800 pounds, whatever it is, more than you. So you're going to see the top of the top, the peak of the peak. You're not going to see their injuries necessarily. You're going to see their competitions. You're going to see them doing a photo shoot or what they look like with amazing gym lighting in a photo shoot post show. So they're already depleted and they're shredded to the bone. So a lot of bodybuilders will do photo shoots right after a show, even after they carb up or whatever, or maybe before they do, they'll do a show and they'll keep their diet for another day or two and do a photo shoot because, well, they already dieted for 3 months or 4 months or whatever, and they're already shredded and depleted. So they're going to do a photo shoot right after the competition. That way they can stack and they can do it all at once, because then they're going to drink water and eat some food finally. And then they're going to bring all that water back on. They won't be as lean. And they Photoshop, and it's AI and it's lighting and this, that, and the other. You know, I have mirrors in my house. I walk by and I'm like, ooh, I'm looking juicy. But if, you know, I look more compressed and you look bigger than you really are. After a workout, all your blood vessels are coming to the surface, trying to cool off the blood. You're sweaty. You have that definition, that pump where all the blood's in the muscles. When I'm doing arms, I look like I'm juicing out of my mind. That goes away. It's transient hypertrophy. But anyway, people, humans in general, but especially females, are more susceptible to that comparison to others. Comparison's the thief of joy, this, that, and the other. And these devices are really just a constant comparison device. You have a screen just showing you, hey, look at this person. Look at this person. What about this person? Look at this person. Hey, you didn't see this person. Yeah, they're better than you too. But that's what your mind is saying. You can use it as inspiration, but you really have to be in control of your brain. You have to be in control of your brain. That way you can look at social media and understand what you're seeing. You're seeing 0.0001% of people that exercise. Most people don't go to the gym. Most people that go to the gym don't get results. Most people that do build muscle don't build a lot. Most people that do build muscle a lot, they don't have the symmetry. They don't have the definition. You know, you're seeing like top bodybuilders. So that's not a healthy thing. I just know because I've been looking at this stuff for 25 years. I've been looking at magazines and watching Pumping Iron and looking at all these different dudes. I've been around them. They don't look healthy. Their skin is all thin. They have acne on them everywhere in their shoulders. Everything looks like sharp and pointy. I don't want to look like all these guys. They all look the same. They're just maxed out. It just looks like G.I. Joe characters, not in a necessarily bad way, but it looks like a cartoon because it is a cartoon. It's an exaggeration of humanity. And it's not healthy. They're all dying in their 30s and 40s and 50s. I don't want to be crippled and unable to move just so I could be shredded for a few years. That's why I'm really hesitant to do TRT and stuff like that. So I'm not against it, but it's got to be done right and with the right mindset and the right approach. All right, let's get into some knowledge cock. And oops, why'd that disappear? Let's get into a couple of responses going back to the dudes and the dad bods and stuff. I'm sure we have a couple of responses from that. There we go. That was nice. That wasn't bad.
I give a
no, come on now.
10. A 10. A fucking 10.
Let's see. Mark says, why make someone you're not with anymore jealous? Sounds petty to me. Because people live in the past. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Loretta says, don't see many dad bods, but the wives, holy shit, they really let themselves go. Not healthy for their kids or husband. Let's see. Sheena, given that I was 19 when married, 21 when my first kid was born, and 23 when my second was born, I kind of feel like I was finishing growing up while also taking care of my family. That's what it's supposed to be like. That's what it's supposed to be like. You're supposed to do it that way because that's when you have the most energy and you're able to have those sleepless nights and raise kids. Like that's what it's supposed to be like. The difference is now people are maturing later because they're sheltered by family. They're sheltered by institutions. They're getting into debt. So they literally have to suckle the government's teat. They suckle their mom's teat and they have to suckle the government's teat for their entire life. If you're in debt, especially with education, you start your life in debt, you're a slave. You're in control. You owe. You owe. I'm not saying you never, ever, ever have debt, but it's a huge problem because you have that chain around your neck. So you can make your own decisions. You can't live for yourself. But this is why you have a lot of women that are angry and projecting their insecurity and their emotions into politics. It's because they want to control other things. They don't have control of their own lives. So rather than aborting their children and being anti-family and following this communist regime that's taken over our country, women will feel fulfilled by having children. It's just a biological and evolutionary fact. People are looking for these things. They're looking for things out there. They're trying to find something to fill themselves, their career. They're going traveling the world. I'm not saying you can't travel, but they're just looking and trying to fill things. What am I going to do? I saw this video. I saved it. I'm not going to share it, but it's this girl. She's 30 years old and she's in West Coast of Florida or something like that. And she's like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm 30 and, I'm changing this. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I'm trying to figure out the next. And it shows her like curled up on the couch. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I'm doing this. And it's like, you need to have a family. You're looking to fill this void and you're looking everywhere but actually having a family while you're still a valuable asset for men. You're a younger woman, relatively 30, you're getting up there, but you need to find your mate and have a family. That's what people are looking for. But feminism has beaten that out of women. Same thing with the media, same thing with social media. I mean, women have just been getting assaulted by this ever since the internet was out, has come out. It just ramped up all this girl boss bullshit. I'm not saying you can't have a business. I mean, it's great. If you want to have a family, you can start a business and do something online while you're at home, while you're with your family and taking care of your kids. And you don't have to be in a physical location. But people that give their lives to these corporations for 20, 30 years, and then they think, okay, I'm 35, 40, now I'm going to settle down. It's like, no, you did that backwards. And then they get upset and they project their anger and their frustration, their regret onto all of us by voting for Kamala Harris because she's a girl boss and she's a woman, blah, blah, blah. And this is what we're seeing. Sheena says, I had a full-time job and owned my own home at 19 as well. Nice. Still married to the same person. No longer have a mortgage and spend weekends on the lake. It worked out for me. Sure did. Sure did. Good for you. Positive charisma. I'm married, but damn, if this doesn't hit home, we want to start a family soon, but resources are shit, at least until our business takes off. That's the problem. It's also tougher to start that stuff now too. It's really, it puts a lot of people in a tough place. So even though we're like, well, it makes sense, do that at 19, 20, 22. But you see kids, when I was 22, no fucking way. I was in college. I was just getting out. I didn't know what the fuck. That's the problem with college. If I was working and I was doing something from 18, I was working or I traveled or I worked and was doing that for 4 years. I didn't have debt. And I had 4 years of establishing a business or whatever it is, or working my way up into some management. Not that I would have done, I mean, that wasn't my thing. But 4 or 5 years, then you get married, then you have kids a couple years later, you're 24, you have like 6, 7 years of working. Swolenormous, this has been around for 8 years. So it's like, that's a great time frame. But we keep children younger. We stunt their growth by sending them to college rather than sending them out into the world. We waste way too much time in these indoctrination centers when kids should be shadowing their parents, going to work, learning the actual application of society. They're taught this nonsense for 20 fucking years. And then they get out. And unless their parents actually mentored them and taught them themselves, kids are, I don't know what to do, because they're taught by people who never had real fucking jobs. They taught people who are taught by people who are taught by people. So the indoctrination system, AKA education, is just this incestuous regurgitation of the same old shit, and then kids get out into the real world and they're retarded. They're retarded. Literally and figuratively. Okay, Perlevo. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole if you want to ask a question. We do have a call. We'll get into that, but only taking questions now, so use that hashtag. That way I can see. All right, let's do APS. Papa Swolio, you say to load as much as we can. You said load. Can we sacrifice the form for loading purpose? No. If my exercise is a bit less stable and I compensate a bit with other muscles but can add 10 or 15% more, no, it's never okay. You never sacrifice form. If you're sacrificing form, then you're not loading the muscles. You're loading other things. Why would you want to do that? All you're doing is you're increasing your risk of injury and you're using other muscles. So like if you're trying to train your chest, it's a compound movement, but then you're adding the weight and you're like squirming, you're not using your chest. That's not loading it properly. That's overloading and risking injury. So not a good idea at all. That defeats the purpose. You want to load as much as you can with quality form. And if you're doing that progressively and you're doing it properly, then you will build muscle and you'll be able to go heavier. Remember, the weight doesn't matter. And this is what's very humbling and really good for people to try different things. So I have a lot of machines. I'm very grateful for what I have. I have my own gym. I have free weights. I have machines. And every single machine is different. I will do, let's say I have a flat supine hammer strength press. I might put 3 plates in a 25 or 4 plates, but I'm not doing 4 plates on my Smith machine. And then on another incline machine I have like a 45 and I have like 80 pounds on each side. So depending on the machine and the strength curve and the way it's positioned, every machine is different. What matters is for me on that one incline machine that I have, it's an extremely heavy machine. It's a very heavy machine. The way it's designed, it's just fucking heavy. So on, for example, like on incline Smith, or low incline Smith, maybe I can get up to like 3 plates. Of course, there's a counterbalance. So the bar isn't 45 because there's a counterbalance with it. Okay, so it's like less than 3 plates. It doesn't matter. But I'm not doing 3 fucking plates on this other machine. It's the same angle, the same position. I can't do 3 plates. I can't even do 2 yet. But the most important thing is on that other one that's super heavy, I go from, let's say, 70 pounds on each side to 71 to 72 to 74. The most important thing is that the weight is increasing on the machine that you're doing. And if it's targeting the muscle properly, it doesn't matter because the angle, the way the strength curve is, when it's the heaviest, the grip, the angle, everything's going to be a little bit different. So the most important thing is like you choose an exercise that's targeting the muscle, you're feeling in the muscle, but then you progressively overload over time. So the relative weight is it's irrelevant. And you guys know this, if you go to different gyms, sometimes dumbbells feel heavier, they feel lighter. That's because you fluctuate with strength also, maybe with your recovery. But if a dumbbell has a better grip, and you guys know this, you go to a professional gym and it has like really nice dumbbells with like solid grip and knurling, you get a really good stable grip. Ooh, I really like this, the size of the dumbbell, the length of the dumbbell, they're not necessarily different weights, but it's going to be different torque. It's going to be different distance from your body, from the lever arm. Like it's all biomechanics, but some dumbbells are going to feel harder than others. I have these Hex dumbbells. They're cheaper than other ones. And I have the space and I kind of pieced it together over time because I don't really care. It's fine. But they're different than the round, let's say hammer strength dumbbells with like a thicker grip. So if that thicker grip is harder for you to grip, then maybe that's going to feel, a 20 pound there might feel heavier than a 25 at a different gym. So it's all a little bit different. So don't worry so much about what the weight is on a given machine or what you're doing. Just know that as long as you have good form and you're pushing yourself, you're getting that growth stimulus, you're training, close to failure, up to and including failure, then you'll notice that weight going up in time, over time. So for me, I want to make sure that on that one machine that I have, like on that one incline machine that I have, that over time, that number on that machine is going up. I'm not trying to make it, that doesn't have to equal the same weight as the Smith machine or this other chest press that I have or this other exercise that I have. It has to be that piece of equipment, that style dumbbell, that weight, and that goes up over time. That's progressive overload. It doesn't matter. Your body doesn't know what the weight is, but it's responding to the mechanical tension, and that growth stimulus is relative to that exercise and the strength curve of that movement and stuff like that. Yeah, that's usually the cope. A lot of people say that. I see on YouTube. I agree about connection, but not about having kids. Not every woman feels fulfilled by kids. Yeah, everyone says that. That's usually the excuse when people didn't do things properly or don't have kids. That's usually, people love to make that excuse. And I'm not disagreeing with you either. I'm not disagreeing with you. But if you don't have kids and you can't have kids anymore, and don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of times that's just a justification. It's like, well, I don't feel by kids. I don't want kids. I never did. And, it's not for me. I mean, you have to make yourself believe that because that's your life now. I'm not saying it's not true also, because that's literally our base evolutionary purpose. That's why we want to have sex, is to have kids. So people want to have sex. They don't want to have the children. Then they feel unfulfilled. They try to fill it with more sex, more Gucci belts and more things and more stuff. And then they feel unfulfilled throughout the rest of the life, and they don't know why, and they feel anxious and constant fear and anxiety because, we're going towards death. There is anxiety, but people want to live forever, or they think they want to live forever. And having children is that way of living forever. You know that you're living on beyond yourself. Life isn't ending. Consciousness, you return to consciousness. You know, it's not, death isn't the opposite. You know, it's not the opposite of like it's the opposite, dying is the opposite of being born. So there's really nothing to fear, but having children is that perpetuation of your existence. But it's the same thing with nutrition. You only live once, everything in moderation. People are going to justify, understand, you have to live in your own truth in your head. You can't live, it's really hard to live a lie unless you're like a complete psychopath. So people are going to make reasons for everything that they do to justify bad habits, bad choices, whatever it is. I just want to say this for more people to understand that overwhelmingly, this is why there's this sense of emptiness. You don't have that family. You don't have that connection. You don't have that control. You don't have that, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of who you are physically and emotionally. And I think that's why so many people are completely over obsessed with social media and politics, why it's become like pop culture. It's because people are projecting, if you're paying a lot of attention to your kids, why do you think a lot of people are freaking out about the communist takeover in our country? Usually it's people that have family. It's people that have children because they care about the future. If you don't have children, what do you care about the future? You care about right now. You care about, you're narcissistic. You care about yourself because that's all you have to care about. You don't have anything else that supersedes yourself. So you're projecting your anxiety for the future into like, I want this now. I want to feel safe now. I don't want to leave my bubble. If you have children, you have something that you would die for. You would sacrifice yourself for your kids. So you're willing to fight for change. That way your kids grow up into a better world. I honestly think that politicians, people that serve in government, I almost feel like that should be a requirement. Because what are these old people that don't have kids? What do they fucking care? They're just being selfish. They're doing it for themselves. What do they care about the future of the world and the country? They don't. They're leaving behind nothing. They're just taking. So kids are your way of giving back to society. You're creating more workers, more people that can produce and be creative and create amazing shit for the future. If you don't reproduce, all you're doing is just suckling off the earth and then disappearing. You're not giving anything back. You're just taking. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. Well, everything's a choice. It's still the truth. Jen, going back earlier, I guess talking about fat people are parents. Jen says in the Telegram chat, funny because we were walking around the Disney property last night and I saw a lot of decent looking dads with very overweight women. Makes me wonder how many women used to be thin and let themselves go after kids. Fuck that shit. I work hard to be alive for my family. And because my other half takes care of himself, then I'm going to be doing the same thing too. It's our job to teach our kids. My mom let me get fat and then did nothing to help me. Love her tons, but the negative comments fucked me up and I refuse to do that to my kids. I also will not be a grandma in a wheelchair. All schedules are different, but the consistency and dedication makes it happen. Pfeff excuses. Agreed. There you go. Melissa says, I've always followed a different path and never wanted to have children. My business is to help people though, so I look at it as that's my service. Yeah, fair enough. Again, I'm not saying that if you're listening to this and you don't have kids and you're like, I don't want, it's your life. I'm not forcing you to have children. I'm not saying that you're a terrible person because you're not. I'm saying it overwhelmingly. What I say can be an overwhelming fact and still have exceptions, right? There's a bell curve. Not everyone is going to, period. Not everyone. And there's a lot of people that would love to and can't because of microplastics, phthalates, birth control, all this garbage that, really pisses me off when I go into it. So as much as there are people that choose not to, there are tons and tons of people that would love to and can't. So it goes both ways. Not everyone, because, not here on the show, but if I post something like that publicly, well, not everyone that wants to have kids, or some people that can't. Yeah, I get it. It's like I can say something that makes an overwhelmingly solid, correct point, and there still will be exceptions. Like, go to the fucking gym. I'm in a hospital bed all the time. I can't move. I can't go. Like, yeah, I'm not talking to you, dude. Keep crushing. Keep doing your thing. I wish you the best. Like, I'm not. It's like you can always find something to get offended by, but it could still be the truth. It just might not be 100% for you. You might be an outlier. There are many of them. Overwhelmingly, we can see the degradation of our society as a result of that trend. Yeah, there you go. Plenty of people shouldn't have kids. Agreed. Well, we need more. That's the thing. When you have a society that gets very educated and very successful, what happens? Birth rate goes down. When in reality, when you have well-nutritioned, intelligent people, they should be having more kids. But usually those people are furthering a career, this, that, and the other. It's ironic. And then you have the welfare state and people are starting a business in like the slums having like 30 kids and just cashing checks. It's fucking gross. And these communities, like low income, like they actually teach women how to grift off the government. They actually have meetings and they teach women how to get child support and how many kids to have and how to file the paperwork. Like they teach them how to do this. It's fucking disgusting. Anyway. And that's not a racist thing. That's just a factual thing. The welfare state is bleeding our country dry. You hand out free money for people to have kids. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to pump out kids and there's no father. There's no and guess where the kids go? You have a single mom with 8 kids. Where do the kids go? They get raised by the street. They get raised by gangs. They're easy prey for gangs. It's okay. I'm muted. All right, let's get into a question. If you want to call into the show, go to askpapaswolio.com. We got one from Matt. I hope it's not one of the Matts. Oh boy. Uh-oh.
What up, Papa Swolio? So my question is, how quickly do people gain muscle? Everybody's different. Yeah, is what I hear. But what's the reality? If you're hitting iron on the daily, 4 or 5 sessions a week, and your starting point is 180 pounds for someone in that area, how long is it going to take them to get up to 200? Some of the gains might be quicker in the beginning, maybe, but 200 pounds, without doing much body recomposition, some people are trying to lose weight at the same time, which can make it challenging. But for a guy who's, 180 or 200, just for whatever given weight, how much do you expect you're able to gain in a given time frame?
I appreciate the question. That was like the most vague question. I don't even know what the question is. How much do I expect them to gain in a given time frame? I don't know. Like, what do we? It's like I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest. People don't gain muscle quickly. Everyone's going to gain muscle differently. It depends on all those habits, like you mentioned. But it's not about. I will answer a couple things. It's not about how many times you lift in a week. What matters is the growth stimulus. Are you training intensely? Are you progressively overloading? And are you being consistent with that? That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's 3 sessions a week. The more sessions in a given time frame, the less recovery you're going to have, and the more likely that you're going to overtrain. You're going to be blowing out and fatiguing your central nervous system, and you're not going to build muscle. So I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest. I appreciate the question, but got to be more specific. What you're talking about as a beginner, newbie gains, your body is responding. So when you're new to the gym, your strength is going to increase the most rapidly, and you have the potential to build not the most muscle, but the most relative to the time period, because what you're trying to do in the gym is create a growth stimulus, subject your body to a stimulus that's going to require it to increase contractile proteins, hypertrophy, so forth. Everything is a growth stimulus when you first start lifting. Everything is new. Everything is, whoa, what is this? Whoa, what is this? You still need to be consistent, do it properly, this, that, and the other. but you have the greatest ability because everything is a new stimulus. Everything is going to be more weight. You see what I mean? Everything is progressive overload. It's more. Everything is more when you start. So just to be general with it. So it really depends. You're not going to build muscle. Over time, you build less muscle as quickly. You scratch and claw for every little bit, and everyone has their own natural limit, and it's going to slow down over time. It's going to slow down over time. So it really has nothing to do with the sessions, has nothing to do with your age, has nothing to do with your weight or that starting weight, because 180, I mean, how tall are you? Are you stick? Are you obese? I don't even know how to answer the question, to be honest. And what Cerny says, it takes as long as it takes, because if you don't do things properly, there are people in the gym that never look any different. They never make progress because they're not doing it properly. You can train 7 days a week and never make progress. Very likely, if you train 7 days a week, you'll never see progress, or you're going to plateau because you're burning out. So you could train for 10 years and not make a lot of progress. There are some people that show, you go online, and then, yeah, people are cruel online, but if you post stuff online, you have to be aware that you're going to get some shit talking. So be aware that people are going to talk crap, and you're going to see all the negative shit that is in your own head that people say out loud. So you can't let it get to you. You can't be like, oh my God, they confirmed that. So you have to ignore that shit. But you're going to post and people say, this is what 8 years of natty lifting looks like. And people like, oh my God, you don't even look like you lift at all. Not everyone responds the same way to weights. Same thing with anabolic steroids. There are some people, and I'm not fluffing my own pillow, but there are some people out there that take steroids, that take testosterone, take all this stuff, and they don't look as good as me. They don't have the muscle density, the strength. They don't have the physique as I do for whatever reason, for genetics, for the way I train, for how I train. Some people are also hyper responders to anabolics. Not everyone that takes the same amount of juice will look the same. Some people take, you can't just follow what pro bodybuilders take. Some people don't take that much. They're just hyper responders to it. So there's a lot of different factors. That was just really vague. I don't know how to give you a specific answer. I can't give a specific answer for a vague question like that. Cerny says, people who ask how long it takes in my mind are already in the wrong mindset. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure that this Matt was asking, in terms of how quickly can I see? It was just maybe a general question. It was just too general. I don't even know how to answer it because it was just so general. Let's get into some more Instagram questions, but we do it. We're going pretty long. We got to wrap up because we have overtime. So I guess we'll skip these and we'll do a couple questions. We'll just maybe shave off on the balls deep because we'll do that in overtime. Antoria, if you have last minute questions, #AskPapaSwolio. Let's try to get through some of these. I have trouble with losing weight. Yes, not only fat weight too. That's the only weight you want to lose. You don't want to lose bone density or muscle mass. Even when I go to gym or eat healthier. Any recommendations? That's unanswerable. Not only fat weight too. That's the only weight you want to lose. Even when I go to gym, well, what are you doing at gym? Chances are you're not lifting heavy weights properly. And eat healthier, you're probably not eating. If you're not getting results, you're not doing it right. You're not training hard. You're not building muscle. Build muscle. You're a female, build muscle. Try to build as much muscle as you can because it's going to be very hard. Again, for anyone that's watching this, I don't care what body weight you are. Everyone listening, you ready for this? You don't have enough muscle mass. You need to build muscle. Everyone. It might be really hard for you to find an example where I'm going to be like, nah, you don't need more muscle. You need more muscle. I'm not saying you're not big enough. I'm not saying, oh, you should hate yourself when you look in the mirror. I'm not saying you haven't been working hard. Your feelings. No, you need to build more muscle. Are you fat? You don't have enough muscle mass. Are you skinny? You don't have enough muscle mass. You want to lose fat? You want to see your abs? Build more muscle. Build more muscle. Build more muscle. It's so hard to build muscle. That should be your focus. You should be focusing on building as much muscle as possible because you're not going to build that much. You can, but it's really hard. So chances are you're going to be scratching and clawing for ounces of muscle. So do whatever you can to build muscle because that's what you want to do. That's where you want to be. Women, you want to have shape. You want to lose your, fat and your thighs. Build muscle. You're not going to look better by just getting skinny fat. You're not going to get rid of the cellulite. You're not going to get rid of your fat thighs, your flabby arms by doing cardio. Okay, just build more muscle. Tijin, 84, can I be fit without going to the gym? What do you mean by fit? J. Manuel, 1214, it's hard for me to gain muscle. Should I avoid cardio? Maybe. You shouldn't be doing cardio that interferes with your weight training if you're trying to build muscle. It's hard for everyone to build muscle, my guy. It's hard to build muscle, period. So it's not hard for you. It's hard for everyone. It's hard to build muscle. It's why most people don't have muscle. It's hard to build muscle. So you should be focusing on building muscle. So I would figure out what you're doing and why aren't you building muscle? It's probably because your program sucks, your training intensity sucks, your nutrition sucks, your sleep sucks, your form sucks. It's hard to build muscle. You have to be obsessed with it. I am reading YouTube today. I've been answering questions regularly on YouTube. So the chat's not really coming through. I will also always prioritize Rumble and the Telegram chat also. But you can ask your questions. Oh, you didn't use the hashtag, that's why I didn't see it. Don't put @ just do hashtag APS so I can see it. There's a lot of chat. I'm looking at 3 chats, so. And we have a lot of other stuff to do. Fabri Era, Papa Solio, my gym friend is too lazy to wake up early and work out with me. I don't care. Cool story. Your gym friend is a fucking loser. Get a new one. No patience for dumb questions. All right. Steffi, what do you think about the weighted vest osteoporosis prevention data? Think it's good for us old ladies? What prevention data? Lifting weights builds bone density and muscle mass. Lift heavy weights. Do axial loading exercises. Do hack squats. Do leg press. Do lifting weights. Lift weights will build much more muscle than just wearing a weighted vest. A lot of times, if you're not lifting weights, what you're going to do is you're going to have injuries. People that just go out of nowhere and put on weighted vests, you're going to have like spinal compression issues. You're going to have disc issues. You can have degeneration because you're not actually loading properly. I mean, weighted vests, yeah, sure, there are applications for it, but lift weights that will build bone density. Lifting weights heavy is very important for women. You're much more at risk for osteoporosis than men. So lift heavy weights. It's better than wearing a weighted vest. Emily dances ballroom. Does Emily lift weights? Thoughts on Pilates reformer classes for resistance training? Treat it like yoga. Lift heavy weights. Do Pilates. Lift heavy weights, build muscle, and add in Pilates as a supplement for your training. All right? Yoga supplements your weightlifting. Cardio supplements your weightlifting. Pilates, fine. Do it once a week or twice a week. Do I think your entire shit should be Pilates? Fuck no. Lift heavy weights. I will die on this hill. Lift heavy fucking weights. I don't care what you do on active recovery days. But Papa, I love Pilates. Cool, do it. But lift heavy fucking weights so you build muscle. You're not building enough muscle doing Pilates. I'm not saying you can't do it. I think it's fine. Mobility stuff is great. Doing like resistance or like reformer, full splits and stuff like that's great. Train through a full range of motion. It can be great for mobility. I don't practice it personally, but there's nothing wrong with those things. But Papa, I love to do Zumba. Then do Zumba after you lift fucking heavy weights. You know? It doesn't matter if you like it or not. You need to do it. And you don't need to do it a lot. You don't need to do it all the time. You don't need to do so much of it. This is what people think. They have to live in the gym and just do rep and rep and rep. I did legs yesterday. Guess what I did? Guess what I did for legs? I'm fucking sore shit. Guess what I did for legs yesterday? Guess how many sets for legs that I did? And it was a lighter, more minimalist leg day because I wanted to keep to the schedule. I didn't want to wait until doing it today. I wanted to do it yesterday. So I just minimized it because I want to make sure I'm adjusting my intensity, my volume. I just felt like doing it yesterday and I felt like just doing a little bit. Guess how many sets I did for legs? How many working sets I did for legs yesterday? I did 2. I did 2 sets of hack squats. That's it. 2 sets, period. I warmed up and I did 2 sets of hack squats. But I went as heavy as I fucking could. So that first set, I got 5 reps. I couldn't have done another one. And it was heavy as shit. And then I rested like 4 or 5 minutes. I took off 25 pounds on each side. and then I did 8 reps. So both were a heavier load than the previous time that I did the hack squat machine. The previous time I did the hack squat machine, so on this hack squat, I did 5 plates and I did 5 reps. Okay. The previous time I did 4 1/4 on each side, 6 reps with 1 in the tank. I probably could have done 1 more. So my first set, I did 5 reps with 5 plates. So that was a heavier load. And then the second set, I put on 4 1/4. So the last time I did this, like a week or so ago, week and a half, I did 4 1/4 for 6 reps with 1 in the tank. This time I did 8 reps. So it's progressive overload. It's more. You don't have to do every aspect of your legs. You don't have to do hamstrings and then glutes and this. Not every fucking time. You're working all these muscles in your legs. It's like sometimes you just pick a squat, pick a compound movement and just send it and just do that. That's a great... You don't need a lot of volume if you're progressively overloading. That's all that matters. After those 2 sets, what else do I need to do? I was like, I'm good. That's it. It was like 6 o'clock. I just want to do a nice little evening workout. It was cooler. I felt like training, but I didn't want to over fatigue myself. I didn't want to do a long workout or anything. I'm just going to do 2 sets. I could have done a third one, but what am I going to get out of it? I could have done a third set, but what would I have had to do? Pick the weight again and try to do another 8 reps. It's not going to be as stimulating as what I already progressively overloaded. I did 5 plates for 5 reps, and I did what I did last time for an extra additional rep. Instead of 6 and 1, I did 8 and 0. So I did more. I was able to progressively overload. I provided more of a stimulus than I did the previous time. That's growth. That's the stimulus. My work is done. And I'm tight. I'm feeling it. I'm tight and I'm sore, but guess what? After tomorrow, like I'm going to be fine. And then in like 2 more days, I'm going to train legs again. So it's like the frequency is great. I don't need to be in there for a long time. I need to provide the growth stimulus, progressively overload, and then recover. Yeah, I would be, like Sheena says, you'd be increasing fatigue with no benefit. Now, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't get benefit from another set, but I would be increasing fatigue with a decreased benefit because every set after the first one is going to be less of a growth stimulus. In other words, the muscles, just think of it in this way, I'm just like conceptually, my muscles and those receptors are just more numb because I spent it all in that first set. People that do that pyramid where they do, well, I'm going to go and do 6 reps with 4 plates, and then I'm going to put on 4 1/4, and the last set's going to be the heaviest. I think that's retarded. I think that's stupid because you're fatiguing yourself before you do the heaviest weight. Warm up properly, do a couple extra warm-up sets. I did 4 warm-up sets. I was on the hack squat machine. So I had done I do a little like Cossack squats, body weight inside. I grabbed my monkey foot and did 1 set of hip flexor on the front, 1 set of leg curls. And then I went outside, just put on a 45 on each side, 1 plate, and just did a bunch of reps, got my footing, feel good. Okay, solid. Waited a little bit, put on another plate, 2 plates, did like 2 or 3 reps, feels good. Wait a little bit, put on 3 plates, did like 1, 2. I'm not fatiguing myself. I'm just neurally preparing myself for those heavy sets. Okay. And then I did a couple more reps. Then I did 4 plates, waited a couple minutes, did 4 plates, did like a couple reps, like 1 or 2 reps. Oh, feel good. I'm like, fuck it. 5 plates. And then rested like a few minutes and then boom, just went all out. Right. So why would I be saving the heaviest sets for the third set? No. I'm going to war. I'm freshest right now. I'm putting as much weight as I can. My goal is not to do as many reps as possible. My goal is not to do as many sets as possible. If the goal was to do as many sets, if the goal was more sets, more gains, I'd be out there for 5 hours. If more sets got me more gains, I would do 40 sets a workout. But I'd be exhausted. I'd just be damaged. If I did 30 sets, how much weight would I be able to have on the sides? Like 2 plates? I'd be exhausted. I'd be doing my 10th set, like barely moving. You guys know that. You've done those strip sets and drop sets and quote intensifiers. I used to do that shit too. It's exhausting, but without the benefit. You know, if I did a drop set at the end, I'd have 1 plate on each side and be like, barely able to move. That's just fatigue. I'm not getting a stimulus. I can lift so much more than 1 plate. How is that drop set actually causing more stimulus? It's not. It's causing more fatigue and more damage. I'm going to be so fucking sore. If I did a drop set on the last one, I did 5 plates. Then I stripped it, 4 plates, as many as I could. I used to do this shit. It's stupid. And then I would strip it and do 3 sets and 3 plates, and then strip it and then do 2, and then strip it and do 1. That last set with a 1, that would be like my 30th fucking rep. I'd be moving. My legs would be shaking. I would be barely able to move 1 plate. Well, how is that a growth stimulus? It's not. I can handle 1 plate. It's a joke. All I'm doing is barely able to move because I'm just shooting a dead horse. I'm not even beating it. I'm just shooting it over and over again. It's a pile of sludge. So if I get over there to warm up and I put 1 plate on each side, I'm like, this is a joke. I'm just warming up. Why would I be doing that at the end? I'm not getting any stimulus from it. It's the same thing as when I'm fatigued. I'm just so blasted. And like, it doesn't make sense. So you warm up, and then the first set is when you're the most recovered, the most rest, the most intensity. So I prepare myself for that first set. And I know last time I did 4 1/4 for this amount. So now I'm putting on 5, and I'm going to do 5 or 6 reps. Successful. It doesn't matter that last time I did 4 1/4, 6 and 1. I don't need to do the same amount of reps. There's a greater load, so I don't need as many reps. I did 5 super solid reps. That's pure stimulus. And that's the best stimulus. And that's when you're going to receive the most stimulus. And that second set, I beat the first set that I did the last time. So it's just, I'm stronger. That's progressive overload. It's not about doing 5 more sets, because every other set I did after that, because I couldn't do 5 plates again. So the next set would have been 4 1/4 with less reps, or maybe 4 plates. Okay. And then what? 4 again? Or maybe, and I would get like 5 reps, or then drop it to 3 plates. Why am I just fucking doing it over and over and over and over? Provide the gross stimulus and move on. Chicho 0391, Papa Solia, whey protein better with water or any milk trying to lose weight? Irrelevant. Grass-fed whey has nothing to do with water or milk trying to lose weight. Well, you need a calorie deficit. But from your picture, no offense, bro, and I don't care. I'm never giving offense. You're just taking it if you do. Build muscle. You need muscle. This dude needs muscle. All right? Like, you're trying to lose weight. I'm just saying, trying to lose weight. Should this guy be trying to lose weight? No, he's skinny fat. He doesn't look like he lifts. No offense. I can't tell from this picture. Build muscle, dude. You're going to get leaner over time. I'm not saying, whoa, you can recomp. Stop fucking recomping. Build muscle. I'm not saying get fat. People think of building muscle like you're bulking, like you're getting fat. People bulk like shit because they eat McDonald's and Taco Bell and drink soda all the time, and they do these cheat meals. Well, I worked out and then I had pizza. You know, I earned it. And they go to Taco Tuesday and they wonder why they get fat. You want to build muscle, not get fat. Hospitality. That's a cool name. How many days can you skip the fucking gym without noticing changes in physique? Depends, but most people, you're not going to lose muscle like in a week or 2. Honestly, you provide a proper growth stimulus, you don't need to do as much volume as you think, and you don't need to train as frequently as you think. I do like training body parts more frequently, but I decrease the volume dramatically. Dramatically. It's really about the volume. You don't want to decrease the intensity, because the intensity is the growth stimulus. What you need is more recovery and more frequency. So do less more often. Go heavier, go harder, push closer to failure, do less volume, and then adjust. You ready for this? This is what I do. I'm going to train hard. I'm not going to be doing like half-ass, 15 to 20 reps. I'm doing 4 reps, 5 reps, 6 reps, 7 reps. So I'm doing that. That intensity is locked in. I'm training that hard because it gets less fatigue. I get more out of it. What I do is with that intensity is a standard. The frequency depends on the volume. So if I do more, I'm not going to be able to train that body part as frequently. So then I adjust the volume and I bring it down so I could train it more frequently. That's all I play with. The intensity is consistent. The volume is what I'm playing around with. So if I want to train this body part again if I trained yesterday legs on Thursday, if I want to do that on Thursday, Saturday, maybe Monday, if I want to do it Sunday or Monday, how can I do like 8 sets? I'm going to be fucked up for a week. So if I want to train legs again on Sunday or Monday, at that moment, it was like, all right, I want to train legs today. I don't want to do a longer work. I'm just going to do 2 sets of hack squats. Boom. because if I do 3 sets, I'm not going to be able to do any kind of quads or something. So let's say I'm still maybe psychologically, I'm like, all right, I'm a little bit more, but I'm not always going to do, because hack squats and like anything that's loading the axial skeleton, that can be very fatiguing. So maybe the next leg workout, I'm just going to do prone leg curls. Maybe I'll just do leg extensions. Less overall stress. I don't need to do pendulum squats or Smith machine squats or barbell squats or heavy leg press all the time. I can decrease my central nervous system fatigue by doing a leg extension instead. I still train my quads, but it's going to be less fatiguing than if I do hack squats. Agreed? We talked about this yesterday, the day before. All right. Good. Let's go balls deep. Maybe we can have a... I don't know if we have any time for that. Deep. Let's do maybe like one. Maybe we got time for like 1 or 2 videos. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. I saw this. I shared it because I think you could follow me on X, Papa Swolio, at Swolenormous on X. Check this out. So temporarily, we'll see if it happens. I mean, Joe Rogan is back on YouTube, so Tucker Carlson passed him on the top podcast charts. But I think it's very telling for our society, especially with like the rift in the culture. And we're just talking about women having kids or not having kids and feminism being a scourge on our society, this, that, and the other. Look at the top podcasts. These are the top 6 podcasts. Okay. So this post, I just retweeted it. Men listen to, I mean, overwhelmingly, they're women too, but men listen to Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Dan Bongino. So in the top 6, you have Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Dan Bongino. The other 3 in the top 6, Call Her Daddy, Canceled with Tana Mong, I don't know who the fuck that is, and Hot Mess with Alex Earl. I've heard of Call Her Daddy. I don't know these other shows. So you have these 3, I don't know, slut shows. And I'm saying that because it's all about relationships. I don't know what it's really about anymore. They started that way. Like Call Her Daddy used to be about like blowjobs and stuff. And I think it changes over time, which is fine. But when you're looking at this, you see what women follow and what men follow. Yeah, the truth is winning out with Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Dan Bongino. And the problem is everyone here votes. So who do you think the boss bitch or the boss babe girls are voting for? Maybe they're voting for Democrats. They're voting based on emotion. They're voting for the dark-skinned woman in a pantsuit because they're told to. Just saying. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's different when you don't have an investment in society. And again, it's different when you don't have children. It's different when you don't have to sign up for selective service. You don't have to be selected in the draft. You're not subjected to the same type of risk as men in our society. And having children is definitely a risk. Who you choose as your mate, I'm not saying there aren't risks. I'm saying in terms of what people vote, because women overwhelmingly vote for war, but they don't have to serve. So it's the men that are thrown into the garbage. They're thrown into the wood chipper. And this is why I posted recently, and I think Vivek Ramaswamy was saying this too, that there should be some requirement to vote. And I agree. I didn't serve in the military, but I think men should either serve in the military or the National Guard, or they should be planting trees, like civil service, supporting their town, doing something locally in their community. Like people should have to invest in their communities in order to have the right to vote. Because if you have your life on the line, and hey, if I vote for these warmongers, I'm going to have to go fight. I'm not going to fucking Ukraine. I'm not voting for these liars. You make different decisions. But then you have a lot of weak people, men included, soy boys, and liberal women that are like, oh my God, we have to help. It's so mean what Putin's doing to Ukraine. Oh my God, we have to help Ukraine. Let me put a flag in my bio. And then guess who has to go and die? Men. Men that have no, they don't have anything in that fight. They don't want to go. And then you're sending people to die, but you don't have to have any skin in the game. You don't have to go yourself. That's fucked up. And this is the problem when you don't have a family. If you're a female that has a family, this is why people become more conservative, because You don't want to go to war. You don't want your child going to war or your husband to go to war. You want your husband, ladies that are in the chat, you have kids. Do you want your kids and your husband to go fight in fucking Ukraine? That's insane. That's asinine. And I'm not saying there aren't single women that don't have triple digit IQs that don't want war either. Again, overwhelmingly. My grandmother was like this. She cared so much about people's feelings. It was like the worst thing possible was to hurt someone's feelings. That's absolutely irrelevant. If you care about people's feelings, you're going to always pander to the marginalized victims. And that's a plague on our society. There's always going to be victims. There's always going to be marginalized. You can't help everyone, but you can make society better for everyone. Now we have people that are quote unquote poor that have air conditioning, that have access to way too much food, cheap food. I mean, I know things are more expensive. I'm just saying in general, rising tides raise all ships. So if we improve our society, everyone comes with when it's done properly, not when you're bleeding the middle class dry and you're lying and printing money by fiat. Like, this is why our government is evil. It's way too bloated, but this is the point. And why do you think politicians like Lindsey Graham and these fucking cucks that don't have kids, why do you think they're always voting for war? Because they don't care. If you don't have any skin in the game, if you have children, do you want to send your child to war? You're going to vote differently, don't you think? So when women are voting for women, I'm going to vote for Kamala because she's a girl boss. Oh, she's so funny. I like the way she dances. Oh, it looks like you can have a margarita with her. You're not on the hook to go to war. This is the problem with feminism. Women are not the same as men. I don't think women should be leading nations. I think it's a laughable situation. They're not fit for it. They're just not. Emotionally, biologically, and unless they have a family, there's nothing to hold them back from making terrible decisions. So you're voting for identity politics, the way someone looks, their skin color, because the Democrats and the leftists are just fucking evil. They want to see the world burn. They don't give a shit. They make terrible decisions with lasting consequences, but what do they care? They have no fucking kids. They just want to feel safe now. Oh, pay for my student loans. Give me more money now. I don't want to do anything. Just make it easier for me right now. Don't you want to? Shouldn't we be thinking long term about our future, about our kids and our grandkids and our great grandchildren? That's what people used to think. They wanted to leave a world better for their children. But if you don't have any kids, who the fuck do you care about? Just yourself. See, Steffi gets it. Her name is Steffi Gets It. I am a veteran. I say hell no. But that's the difference. And I'm not saying women can't. Women can enlist. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I mean, I don't think. I think most women won't and most women don't for a reason. Some women really want to. I'm not saying you can't. But yeah, if you're investing, if you're putting your life on the line, you should be able to vote. But you have to earn that right. I think having a pulse, we're looking at this right now. When you have no skin in the game, you have nothing to offer society, you've put nothing in, you don't understand how the government works. These people do not. That's why you're susceptible to all the propaganda, because you don't understand how the government works. You don't understand what the Bill of Rights is and what the Constitution is. People think that the government is granting people still think this. I see it on Twitter, X, all the time. People see and they think that the Bill of Rights is the government giving people the right to this. We should take away the right to bear arms. Like, you shouldn't have the arms. You shouldn't have assault weapons. They don't even know what the fucking assault weapon is. No one has assault weapons. That's just a name like, oh, scary thing. No, that's not what the government is for. The government doesn't give you rights. The government protects your God-given rights. It's a huge difference. The government is not giving you the ability. The government is there to protect your natural rights, your God-given rights. We all have those rights. You have the right, free speech, to bear arms, X, Y, and Z. And the government is there to protect those rights, not to take it away. So people don't even fucking understand the Constitution and understand the Bill of Rights. They do not understand it. And guess what? They don't want you to understand it, because then you make terrible fucking decisions. That's why the Democrats want younger voting ages, because they want more retarded people to vote for their lies. It's absolutely a fact. And more people are waking up to it, but that's all it is. It's propaganda. It's lies. So again, this is what happens when you have no skin in the game, when you're narcissistic, when it's all about you and your current comfort levels. You're not looking to the future. You're looking for right now. How can I spend more and get more right now? And what the boomers and all the generations, including now, are just burning this country to the ground, and there's going to be nothing left. There's nothing left. And all these, right, from welfare to Social Security, all this kind of stuff, it's just printing money, and there's no value coming back to society. Our society is dying. It literally is dying because we don't have kids. We're just getting older and older and older. And this is why people are saying that the culture is dying and there's no new good movies. There's no this, that, and the other. They just make Shrek 9 and, Star Wars 28. It's because you're having less and less children and people. The market share is decreasing. If you don't have more kids in a larger generation, where's the money? The money is with the older people. That's why they keep making these they make the same movie, Avengers 25. They keep on bringing back the old shit and they're making another fucking Beetlejuice. I'm not saying it's not going to be good or whatever. You might laugh a little bit, but what's the target audience? It's not 10-year-olds. It's 40-year-olds. It's 50-year-olds. It's 60-year-olds. It's 70. Because those are the people that have money. That's the larger audience. You market to like 15-year-olds. There's not as many. You're not going to clean up. You're not going to make as much money with a younger audience. There's less of them. So it's crazy, man. Yeah, the algorithms are Skynet. Skynet's just the algorithm. So in other words, you're taught what to think for 20 years, and then you get on social media, or you're on social media, and it just tells you what you see. Here's your reality, and here's how to think. So it's just teaching you. People are used to following the leader in school, so they follow the news and they follow whatever they're told. Why do you think every time you speak truth, you get shit on? It's like, oh, you're misogynist, you're sexist. They don't have any real talking points. They just have to call you a name. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris because I'm a man and I have a triple-digit IQ. Oh, you're misogynist, you're sexist, you're racist. No, I'm not. You just have nothing to offer. She has nothing to offer, and you can't come up with anything that she's actually offering. She's a pawn. She's installed by the Democratic Party. It's a complete bastardization, and we don't have a fucking democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Democracies are evil. Tyranny by majority? Nah, it's fucking terrible. We don't want a democracy. We want a constitutional republic. So again, if you want to vote, you need to pass a test, a civics test. You need to know how the fucking system functions. How can you vote properly if you don't know how it functions? And most people don't. They don't want you to know how it functions. They don't fucking care. Then they have more stupid people. They want you to be stupid and ignorant and following because they say so. They don't teach you taxes. They don't teach you. Your parents have to do it. Oh yeah, but your parents are working 3 jobs and they have to send you to these institutions, these indoctrination centers. They don't want you homeschooled because then you're going to see how taxes are done. They're going to see, most people don't know, they outsource their taxes. So do I. It's confusing as shit. They want it to be confusing. So you fuck up and you pay more than you should. And they blame Trump. Like Trump says he didn't pay taxes. He paid $350 or whatever. Oh my God, it's because they're not stupid. Remember what Trump said? He's like, yeah, I'm not paying taxes because I'm not an idiot. There are a lot of things that they just don't teach. They just want you to be afraid. They want you to be afraid of success. They want you to be afraid of capitalism. And they want you to be a stupid drone. And it's working. All right. Cool. Let's do a video. No, I think we got to move on. I don't think that was balls deep. We got to go into overtime. Fam, we'll do some more of these videos on Monday. We got Swoleosophy over the weekend, and we have another accountability meeting on Monday. So let's get into, maybe we'll do some of this. Maybe we'll do these in overtime. We'll do these. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a juicier overtime. All right. So fam, make sure you head on into the Daily Swole Telegram chat. For overtime, if you're not a member, now's the time to join. We do have the app coming later this summer, so don't miss out on that. You will be missing out on the private community and, of course, all the bonus segments. So don't miss out on any of that. We got overtime coming up in just a few moments, so make sure you switch on over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat. Let's get into today's Swole card. Let's give this shiz away. It's Faf Fuck 'em Friday. Delete, unfollow, time to focus on your community. Make sure you block out all the noise. Time to tighten up your ship. Delete contacts, contacts in your phone, shit you don't listen to anymore, things that aren't moving you forward. So hashtag FEF, that's what it stands for. And let's give this Swole card away. Oh, we got a winner. We got a winner on the Rumble. It is Marquise.
Congratulations!
All right, Marquise. Underscores to piss off Papa. I got something for you, too.
Go fuck yourself.
You can add that to your Swole card. All right, congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3003 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations, fam. We are going into overtime right now. Are you ready? Are you ready to rumble?
Finish him.
Ooh, super saturated. That's not what I wanted. I wanted that tint baby doll. All right, so make sure you head on into the Daily Swole Telegram chat if you're a member. We will see you there. And of course, we'll be back on Monday for the live stream. We had some Swolosophy over the weekends. Keep an eye out on Swole Text. A lot of you have been sending me a lot of great feedback. You've been enjoying those episodes, so don't miss out. Make sure you follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, share it with your friends, leave us a review, and plug the fuck in. Plug in and be there for all these episodes and for all the engagement. I usually ask a lot of questions and answer them on the weekend episodes, so make sure you're there for that. Here we go. Into overtime in 3-2 Schwam. Thanks for being here. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out. Overtime. And a new DWG. Let's fucking go.
I just wanna win on the low, like